We got Bill Burr in studio. He came in because he's a big fan of Rock of Love, right? With Bret Michaels?
I was actually, I was talking to Danny on the internet, emailing him.
Like a future guy.
Oh, yeah, no, we had little video cameras. He was taking his hat off.
What year is this? The year 3000? Wow. You guys are amazing.
There he is.
I was just saying I was watching the show, man. What's up, man?
Hey, Bret Michaels.
Yes, Bret. How you doing, man? Good.
What's up, Bret? How are you, man? All right.
Let me get over here and just say hello.
What's up, man? How are you, man?
Bill Burr.
Bill, how you doing?
Hey, Bret, I got to tell you, when I saw, like, the promos for Rock of Love, I'm like, I don't know. And then I saw it. I'm completely hooked.
Oh, you hooked?
Yeah.
When I saw the promo, I was like, I don't know.
Right.
I was thinking the same thing.
Because,
IDs or no, does it matter? You guys don't care.
No, you don't need to have. No, don't worry about it. No, because I was thinking Flavor of Love, and I'm like, how do you do the Flavor of Love show again?
Right,
because that was huge for everybody, and it's kind of sort of like a white version of that, but you're doing your own thing with this show.
Yeah, I think the show, it's a weird thing because I've never, in all my years of partying and bizarre things and being on the road, I've never done anything this weird. Because when they say they're filming you 24/7, you're thinking, well, I get up in the morning. I'm diabetic, right? I just had a moment coming over here. I'm having a low blood sugar. I'm like, I need to fix this in the traffic because of the big burst.
So the crater in the street.
Asbestos is fine. And I'm going.
Gotta love New York, right?
Yeah, my dad is like.
It wouldn't be New York if we didn't have this stuff going on.
But when I went in to do this, I got to be honest, I thought, man, 24/7, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like that, but they literally, besides going to the bathroom, film everything you do, and I'm a pretty independent guy. I'm not a big posse guy. There's not like 80 agents don't tell me where to go, and I just do my thing.
Right.
And I got to be honest with you, it was the first day I pulled in there, they picked me up. VH1's pretty open about shooting stuff. It's not, I know you guys were having a debate the other day with the, I want to say the Corys about whether it's scripted or not.
Yeah.
Well, no. Let me. This is what's screwing up reality TV. We'll say it again, and I don't think it's really going on with your show. They've decided that they need to script reality shows.
Right.
And they did it with the Hogan family, and that's why I don't watch the Hogan family. Scott Baio
that's why
show,
I stopped watching it.
Because you could tell. And then the two Corys, I wanted to like the show, and I told them, and we said it on the air, and they're scripting actual shows instead of, because they don't want to invest the time of having the cameras, like you just said, 24 hours a day for a long period of time so you can finally capture the good stuff. So they're trying to get the good stuff by writing material for these guys. It's wrecking reality shows.
And here's what, and let me go into this completely. When they first asked me to do this, I said to them, guys, first of all, I was being funny. I go, my acting skills are limited. So scripting me to be like, you are beautiful. Now let's argue at the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
The jacuzzi argument's so phony because you're watching, let's call it straight. You're watching The Bachelor. These girls don't know this guy, and I don't care what anyone says, but you go into reality TV, you cannot tell me that they fell in love the first fucking night.
Exactly.
I mean, they all love this guy. No one's met him, and now they're punching each other in the face at the jacuzzi. I'm like, man, I've been trying to rock star it for 20 years. I use the term trying, ups and downs, right? And I go, they don't fight that. They don't cat fight every single second that we're. So what happened with VH1 in this show is I went in and I said, guys, can I just do this? Because originally they only bought 6 episodes. That's all they were doing with me because they wasn't sure how the white guy was going to fly after Flavor of Love. I knew what they were saying. I said, I'll tell you what. As long as you don't script it and you let me come in, let me ride my Harley in. I don't want to shoot this at my ranch. Let's tell them this isn't my house. It's not my house. Anyone that saw Cribs knows I don't live in this house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That wasn't.
Is that an actual house? Is it a set?
Here's what it is. It's a guy. It was a porn director. Not a porn star, but a porn director from the 60s. It's the most god-awful, ugly house I've ever been in. We walked in, it stinks of pool, like bad chlorine. In the jacuzzi, I went to step in the jacuzzi. I'm like, uh-oh, we're going to have a bad argument. This jacuzzi, it's going to be fake. Everyone's going to hate it. We never got to the jacuzzi except to fall in it.
Yeah.
I walked in, the jacuzzi's about 11 feet deep. Like, if you go to go under, you're like, and you're under, you're like down at the bottom swimming. It's like a bad movie. And it's horribly designed, that house, but great house to party in and do reality. Anyway, going back to your, talking about reality, I watch all these shows, and they're so scripted, and I know the world knows it. With this, they just busted loose. I mean, how many girls go out, ride dirt bikes, get hurt, play lingerie mud football, which never ended up in lingerie. They just had shorts and full contact. The girl breaks her ankle. I mean, they get tattoos. Her first tattoo ever is my name on her neck. I said, you could get booted off, and may
great.
have, you know. So, you know, but
the face plant I saw. You were just over on Channel 11 over here in New York,
yes, yeah.
And we were watching some of the clips, and that face plant that chick takes off of that dirt bike is
it's
hysterical.
Harsh. And she endos. There's more that they
God.
There's one that goes up in the air, and I said, I've been riding a long time, and I'm still don't got it down. And the girl's like, don't tell me how to ride. I can go fast. She took off, hit the thing, endoed, flipped. It was...
Yeah, she hit it like a whoop-de-doo. If you're going straight, that's fine. You know, she might be able to go from point A to point B. But I could see before she even hit that thing, it was over, man.
You knew it was
she starts, she can't, the handlebars are going, and she face plants. It's stunning.
Yes, it is. Put it this way, the cracked tailbone doesn't make for good sex later on. There's just no... And here was my worst disaster that happened. One of the prettiest girls on the show, we play football, right? We go out, and they wet the field in the mud. Now, mud looks cool when you're doing those dives in slow-mo.
Yeah.
But when you're running in the mud, it sucks because you can't get going.
You can't.
Right?
You get stuck.
We fell about 60 times. When we were done, we had pulled every muscle. So the girl that wins the date can't move her leg. She's like this. Hold on a minute. You know, she's like, I'm like, that's not going to really pan out for me later on too well. It was fun to do during the time we were shooting.
That'd be great for you. She can't close them. You're trying to fuck her. She's just got to keep her legs open.
I love that part. I'm stuck. But she didn't go that way. She went this way. Now I was really fucked.
Oh, you couldn't open them.
It was like a chicken wing. I got chicken winged and mermaid. When a girl when they mermaid you on the date, you're screwed. You know when it goes tight. You know?
Oh, that's beautiful. She mermaided me, dude.
She mermaided me. I got screwed, and not literally.
Hey, who came up with the concept? Like, I thought that was the greatest beginning, as far as how you had all the girls out in the driveway, and then you had your security person weed out the horrific ones that they could not even go into the house.
They didn't tell me they did that, because I don't know if they showed us on the first episode, but because I'm seeing bits and pieces of the first episode because we're on the road, right? And here's what kind of pissed me off with John, and I was being funny when I said it. I didn't get to meet all 25. And like when I pulled in, I know I may not be the fastest, but I'm pretty sure there's 25 girls. You know, I pulled in, I'm like, okay, they all look decent to me. They all look like we're gonna have a good time. I get into the house and I'm looking around and I was shooting pictures and I'm like, okay, 19, 20, maybe 21. I'm like, there's not 25 girls, so I figured a couple of them are out by the pool or doing something.
Oh, I thought you were giving the ages, because we saw a couple pushing 50 there, Brett.
It was 21 to 70. All right,
at least he's got
it here somewhere.
I was going to say, believe me, they did you a favor, those 5 that they got rid of.
Was that John did me a solid?
Yeah. Okay. They all look like they signed the Declaration of Independence.
Hey, isn't this my mom's friend?
Exactly.
Oh, there are a few that were up there, Brett.
There was a couple of wrecks.
Did he? John did me a solid. That's what you're
Big
saying.
Time.
Okay,
big
good.
time.
What we like about the show, Bill Burr brought it up. You guys got great bits.
Thank you.
You know, now was that when they were phone sexting? That was on this week sometime. I saw it on DVR. They had it was hooked up to your dick.
Pretty much. And what it was is it's something they actually
they're
use.
horrified in the other studio. This XM, we could just go with it here.
They do use that stuff, though.
Like Brett's been fired from the show. Can we remove Brett from the show immediately?
Immediately. It wouldn't be the first time that a PR person takes a guest off our show.
What they did is they did it. It's actually used to measure like blood pressure or blood flow. Mm-hmm. And being a diabetic, I know what it is because they do it for like your feet. You know, they do it after. I've been diabetic so long that they do it to make sure the shit's still working.
Make sure there's blood flowing through you.
Luckily, I got a little blood flow still going through there, and it's all still doing what it's supposed to do, and they hooked it up, and it was a very uncomfortable moment for me because when you're doing stuff and you're being funny on a tour bus, that's one thing. When you're doing it and there's a crew of people filming you doing it, you're like, this is kind of weird, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then I'm sitting there in those god-awful pajamas that I had made. I thought they would look funny, and it looked like I just had orange face. I mean, there was something going on that wasn't good. I'm like, I don't look good, but just let's roll with it.
Hey,
I was
Brett,
really unhappy, actually.
I said that on the air.
My face looked orange.
Can can I say what I said? You looked kind of ridiculous in your pajamas. You
I
look
look
like
stupid.
You
You
look
can
like a
say it.
circus clown without the makeup
I thought
on.
I was
Like,
going to look rock star.
there was something going on there. I'm like, wow.
Can we be funny for a minute here? Let's go. When you're thinking in your brain, this is the story of my life, right? My book should be called In Spite of Myself. Because in my brain, I thought these flame-looking pajamas can't go bad.
Right.
On camera, I look like an idiot. And I was the first to admit it.
All right, good.
See,
Because
when
I was like,
walked out,
whoa.
When I walked out, I looked uncomfortable.
You had no confidence.
I was like, listen, they're going to hook this thing in my dick, and I look like town clown, okay? So I thought at this point, 5 of the girls may eliminate themselves.
There's a weird color to your face. I don't know if it was coming off the orange flamed pajamas.
It's called orange. I had an orange face.
Yeah, okay.
Remember the bad suntan cream they would give you? It looked like I had mist behind the ears, and it was a bad scene going on.
I'm so glad you admitted that. You're all right, bro. You're all right. Because we all notice that. Like,
We
whoa.
all have to know when we got to say, I lost this battle.
So they got you hooked up, and then the girls had to talk dirty to you. And some of the girls, like,
They were awful.
were hacks, and then some just
good.
went at it, like, I want to
Rodeo.
suck your dick, I want to blah blah blah.
Yeah, Rodeo, she was
Was it
good.
Rodeo? I don't know the names yet. I'm still getting to know.
Yeah, some of them I knew their voices, and the one girl goes, she was talking, and she was really hammered. She goes, "Don't threaten me with a good time," and I was like, and I love Tiffany, but I was like, I was like, okay, that's not going. And then a couple of them are really sexy, like the English bit, and there was some good stuff. And it feels weird when they're filming you and you're kind of getting excited, and I'm like, what am I going to do about this? I can't jerk off here. I'm not going to, nothing is going to come from this right now. You know?
That would have been a great episode if you just jerked off and chased the crew.
Look, you see the orange pajamas just moving around and the leg going out.
Oh, we were laughing about that before. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm not. I just cut you loose. There's no real good time happening.
And she's off the show. Why? You guys should have kept her around for a few more weeks.
But here's the reality of reality, right? And when they with this show, they let me do what I wanted. Like all the things were my ideas. I take full responsibility for the goodness and the stupidity in my pajamas. Because they were telling me those don't look really good. I'm like, no, I look killer.
Dude, they're rocking.
Look at me, I'm great. Come on, I look killer. And then it didn't really pan out so good.
I think the boys are going to be making fun of you for a while on that.
You know what? I haven't lived that one down yet.
Good. And you shouldn't.
You got it bad sometimes. Just think of my day in my pajamas. All right.
Oh, we do just the dumbest thing around here. Forget it. It lasts like weeks.
You're never going to live it down.
We'll just make
That's
fun
the
of
whole
person.
point of having friends, right?
Yeah. All right, good.
And it's funny. My friend I just saw last night met you casually. He's a comedian. He did a big festival you guys did, in Oklahoma. Yeah, Jim, and he said he was on the bus with Brett, and he said he really does work 12 chicks at a time. It's a fucking miracle. He's like, he keeps everybody happy, makes sure everybody's drinks are full. He's a great guy. Then all of a sudden he disappears into the back, and there's a Star Trek door that opens on the tour bus,
right.
and one of the girls is gone, and you're like, oh, okay.
Star Trek.
We were playing
door.
cards back there, but for everyone else,
Yeah.
it looks sexy as hell when you shut the Star Trek door. They're going to think we're screwing. You want to finish this game of Parcheesi before we
Yeah, they think you're fucking. They hear Yahtzee. They're like, what is he doing?
Remember, what was that game where you
Boggle.
No, Boggle?
Was it Boggle?
There were a few. Trouble was one.
Oh, Trouble.
Where you
Thank
pop a
you.
6 and you move twice, race your men around the track and try to send the others back.
But yeah, Rocklahoma, not only was it a great show for rock fans, but Poison, it was funny because a lot of the bands were down there, they sounded great. We just brought, because we're out on the road, we brought the full show. I mean, we went big rock and had a great time, but the after party on my bus was out of control. It was one of those ones, we had a bunch of guys, I'm a big supporter of our troops, so I had a bunch of the Marines up there and a bunch of my buddies were going off to Iraq the next day. I said, guys, if you're going to Iraq, let's get you hammered now before you go. And he looked over at the girl's ass, he goes, that's why I do it. Right there. He goes, that's why we do it. I go,
right
hoorah.
there.
And then he,
So you could stay here and fuck them?
that's why
they are heroes.
That's why he did it.
God damn.
I love
What
our
a selfless person.
Really?
Seems like a lot of the great rock from the 80s and stuff like that, like all the bands are touring again, man. It seems like everybody's going out and making money again. It's cool to see.
Well, we've been fortunate with our band, I want to say this. We've been lucky because we've had really loyal fans, and even through, and I used John Bon Jovi and Def Leppard, and a few of us that have stayed at the top of the game through any genre. You have a couple that sort of stay there and kind of stay in the arenas and play. And fortunately, I just want to say this for all the bands that came out in the the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. The really good as much as we took a beating, and we can openly say critically and all around, all of us were players. Like, all of us could, you went in and listened to a band, whether they stayed huge or not. A lot of these guys were really great musicians. Aside from the hair band thing and all that stuff, they were good players. And then when Poison was out, I saw where the future was going, and we took Alice in Chains out in a row with us. Their first arena shows were with Poison, and Jerry's still a buddy of mine. But music's always evolving, and I don't think it was ever meant to stop in 1988. Like, I never said, this is where music's going to stop. It's the greatest era ever. I was just like...
You guys always made the best of it, I'll tell you that, because there's been no era in rock that was full of such excess and such people that wanted to be rock stars. When you watch these bands, all you thought was, I want to be a fucking rock star. Look at what these guys are doing. It was nothing. The videos were all this backstage chicks drinking. It was just, it looked like
horrible,
a good goddamn time. Yeah, it looked awful, man.
Like,
what
I
a horrible thing that was happening.
God forbid, I can't believe we're having a good time at this backstage festival.
It just always looked like, Jesus Christ, that's what everybody wants to
Girls
be.
going to the shows in their lingerie.
Yeah. They just, and then as time goes by, well, now time went by, you hit the 90s, a lot of the grunge stuff, and some of the bands still tried to tour in these places, and it just didn't work. I remember once, and I'll never forget it, seeing, I think it was Warrant in the 90s, and at one point the drummer threw his sticks out, and I heard him go, clink, 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 clink on the floor, and it was like, wow, that's gotta hurt, man.
Well, you know what it is too. I love this conversation because it for me, and especially for me, it hits home in this way. I think you got to go back and look at those bands. Everyone was having a great time, and this is no diss to Warrant or Winger or any of those bands, because they all still out there. Here's where you got to give them credit. They're still out there playing through thick and thin. A lot of bands that happened in the 90s, the minute there wasn't success, they're like, fuck this, I don't want to play no more. The minute because a lot of those bands also, and I don't mean this in a bad way, you take Cobain, some of those bands were, that era of music was really depressing, but some of those guys were, and obviously by his death, his suicide, were really depressed. They weren't faking that depression. The depression was deep, and it's a shame because he had great music. But here's the thing, a lot of that era completely died too. It just didn't get as beat up as our era. If you're going to live big, meaning if you're going to live excessive, you also got to remember you're going to take that beating when it comes down.
I think it has to do with what the next transition is. Bingo. And it transitioned into this, let's strip it down, let's like how we really feel. So a lot of the hair bands became like, what the fuck are these guys doing with the makeup and the the big hair and everything? It's like, it became like a joke.
And it was a rebuttal, kind of, to what it was a backlash. But here's what the thing was funny with Poison. We always have been kind of that island unto ourselves, because no matter what, and again, in spite of ourselves, we were one of these bands that grew up, small garage band, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. And we knew that it's always evolving. And the one thing we did when the whole music changed, right, or what was happening then, changed a bit. Our band never went in and said we hated what we did. And the mistake the bands of the 80s made, a lot of them, every one of them was like, oh, I was never in that band. I hated the music. And that's a diss to the fans.
Yeah.
If I grew up and bought every Kiss record, right, and all of a sudden Gene Simmons said, I've hated, or Paul said, I hated everything I did, or Robert Plant said, I think everything I did before now sucked, I'd be like, what do I do with the 42 albums or 8 tracks I purchased?
Yeah, that was like that guy in Warrant. Like, he says, I could kill myself for writing that Cherry Pie song. And just like flipping out about it. He was like borderline suicidal.
Well, why? Here's the thing that's funny. They never said that shit, though, when it was happening.
Right, exactly.
What I'm saying is, as soon as it turned a little, everyone's like, that isn't me. And I'm like, listen, we did Native Tongue. It was a successful record for us. Bon Jovi and Poison were the only 2 bands of that era that stayed in the arenas throughout our career. But because both of us said, hey, I wrote this, I admit my hair did look a little ridiculous, but at the same time, I lived and loved what I was doing.
No, Brett, know what happened? You guys had more going on as a band, though, because I was a DJ, in the 80s, and what happened was these hair bands, like the first group had major talent, and then everyone else said, wow, this is my in the music business, so everyone did the hair band sound, and then everyone had to have a power ballad, and then what happens, it gets watered down.
Absolutely.
And then, they forget that Poison is bigger than this genre, and you get kind of thrown away with everybody.
Absolutely. And
that's exactly what happened with the hair bands, because I saw it coming. I'm like, when the power ballad first hit, it was like, wow, this is a cool concept. A rock band actually really slowing it down, and everyone getting their lighters out and stuff.
Right.
But then every band that came out in that 5-year period had to have the power ballad.
They made a formula.
Right, it was a formula. There you go.
Talking about like Rock of Love, and what happened with Every Rose for us, like we took and we mix it up a little bit, because Poison, it's funny, each member, like CC's from Brooklyn, New York. So
we love CC, by the way.
He is awesome.
He's done our show many times over the years.
Yeah, and he does that CBGB. He's very the Ramones-y kind of. Yeah. And then I come in and I sort of bring a little bit of, I want to say, the Skinner, Zeppelin. I'm a classic rock, you know what I mean, mixed with some, my dad was a big country fan, so I grew up with a lot of that Americana feel. And then the other guys bring in, Ricky likes that Bowie kind of feel, and each of us adds an element. But when Every Rose hit, you nailed it. When Every Rose hit, including Capitol Records, nobody thought that song would be a success. And we were one of those bands that was fortunate, because no one in the beginning of our career wanted our publishing. Everyone's like, you guys will never have more than one single, blah, blah, blah. And
damn, lucky.
We were one of the fortunate bands that, just like Metallica, we just, I said, if I'm going to make it, let's make it on our own terms. Mm-hmm. And why give away my life? If we hit, why take some shitty advance? Meaning business-wise, I'm saying, why take some bad advance they're going to come chasing me for if I don't have another hit? Let's just take it if it writes and it's a hit.
So many bands considered that making it. Hey, great, we're in huge debt. We made it.
Hey,
this is great.
This is the best. Let's get a hold of J.G. Wentworth.
This is great. And we've given away rights to everything we've ever worked on since I was 13 years old.
Forever.
How does that work, as far as, like, you get that advance, okay? But band gets an advance, and then their album flops. You're saying you got to pay them back? What, they just put you on the road?
I don't know how they literally. I don't know how some of those bands did it. With ours, we've kept all of our masters and all of our, like, we are an independent band. Our first album, Cat Dragged In, was on Cyanide Music on Enigma. Meaning, when I say Enigma Records, they were distribution from a warehouse that we packed the shit up ourselves. And then when that record ended up, Talk Dirty to Me busted loose. And it really became a fan hit. Not that. Remember the early 90s when they could buy marketing teams to call in and say, make that song a hit? We actually came from an era where we didn't know what the fuck that was. So our real fans were actually calling in. Mm-hmm. And then.
Just to explain, the radio stations or record companies would hire marketing companies, and their whole job is to get young, guys, girls, what have you, flooding radio stations, requesting, let's say, a Poison
requesting
song.
the songs to make.
Oh yeah.
Oh, geez.
And then the station's like, wow, this must be a hit. What is it? What's good? And no one knew for the first few years.
Right. And then the band would come to town, and how you would know, they go to sell an arena, and there'd be like 4 people there.
Yeah.
Hey, where are all the phone callers? What happened?
All the same marketing firm.
Hey, Jesus Christ, we got our signage up and everything, and now
it was huge in the late 80s. Yeah, they would hire these marketing firms to pump up these records for these guys.
Yeah, we just weren't smart enough to do that, so it turned out to be a blessing.
Right.
The first metal band to do very soft music on their...
Let me think. Black Sabbath.
Yes.
I love that.
We love the Sabbath.
Jimmy loves Sabbath.
Come on, if She's Gone off Technical Ecstasy or Changes, they always did Solitude off Master Reality. They always did it very soft, and then Kissed it in like 76.
Every bad boy has a soft side.
Everybody thought it was... it was Kisses eventually.
I love that one. Every bad boy has his soft side.
The voice has to change. Right?
Yeah.
Have you ever listen to the music when they do, like we were going back to reality show, talking about Rock of Love? It's funny because when you do that, it is the weirdest thing, because you got to forget that a camera is... so I want to talk to the camera. I'm like, man, dude, how's your face? Is your daughter? I was like,
don't talk.
I'm not here.
I'm like, yeah, and it's weird for me because I'm not used to, you know what I'm saying? I'm used to like, hey, buddy,
just
cool?
talking to people.
Yeah.
That must be odd when you watch after it's been done and it's on TV, because the music is pretty funny.
Yes.
There's this dramatic tone to, there's what amounts to, I'm sorry, some whore trying to make her way in life.
Yeah, but that's good.
No, that's great.
Everyone needs a
chance.
For Brett.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, believe me, it's fantastic.
Great for Brett.
It's fantastic.
Share the wealth a little bit.
There's this dramatic music playing like she's the first lady in danger or something.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, man.
Did you hear the knocking on the door, too? We added.
Yeah.
What was cool about the show, as I said, guys, when we do this, can we please do all the things that we all, and I'm a big Will Ferrell fan and all that, where they actually take, no, you know, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, and I said, please let's have some humor on this show and make it, along with the cat fights and whatever else we do, just have a good time. And I think that's what, the reason this thing has been their #1 show this season, and we beat the first season of Flavor Love's ratings, and you know, the new Hulk Hogan ratings, which and the thing for me is I've never done a TV show, so for a lot of the fans out there, I want to thank them for tuning in, because it turned out to be a pretty huge show.
Hey,
so just out of the reality of it, you know.
One of the best things about being a rock star is, I heard David Lee Roth used to just go into scores and other
Course.
Yeah. Do you, like, to me, like, you always, for the rest of your life, have a guarantee of fucking banging chicks, because all you gotta do is go into a strip club, something is gonna play, and you're gonna fuck one of the girls. I mean, is there any... How great is that?
Especially if you slip the DJ a couple bucks.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I just happen to be sitting back here at this table, and my song.
Yeah.
How did my song get on? Is that me?
Yeah. And the girl,
you guys.
I love this song. And she's ripping her clothes
When
off.
you wait, what you have to do is scan through the club, because a couple of them are like, oh, I hate this song. That's so blah. And you're like, no, yes. You see the guys that light up, and you go, that shall be the one I'll spend my 20s on.
I love how he's pulling back the curtain.
Yeah.
That's it, huh?
Never mind the wizard. Never mind.
Let's say hi to
that's
Dave in Wisconsin. Dave, what's up?
Hold on, Brett won't be able to...
I just put it up to your ear. You don't have to put them on. Hold on, Dave. Hold on. You don't have to put them on. Just put it up to your ear. Dave, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is Davin calling from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. Just
Okay.
saw
Hey,
you
man.
guys just saw Poison Saturday night at the Fond du Lac Fair.
Which was an awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, dude, it was just a great show. You guys blew up something with the power generator right in the beginning there, and
Yep.
got her back on. I guess I was just wondering, did you catch any flack for the video that you had playing on the screen behind the stage?
No, nothing at all. They had, you know what's funny? We came out on the stage, and when we were in Fond du Lac, he's talking outside of Green Bay, Wisconsin. We did a big rock festival there, and we went on stage, and we blew out, because a lot of the fairs and festivals don't carry a lot of power. We blew all the shit out. You know what I mean? So we stopped the show. I mean, I'm coming up on this big elevator thing I'm like, I'm the greatest. And then it stopped like halfway up, and I had to like crawl up.
You had a Spinal Tap moment.
No, my life is Spinal Tap moments, right?
Spinal Tap moment.
I'm literally coming up on the elevator thing, and I'm like, I'm the greatest. And then all of a sudden, and I climb off the top. We walk out with a bullhorn thing, and we're telling people, we'll be right back. They broke the attendance record there. It was like the biggest crowd they'd ever seen there, ever. And I'm like, we'll be right back. And remember, get a sandwich, grab a beer, you know, and then we came back out and restarted the entire show.
How do you get the momentum going again?
You just come back out. I got in the mic. I said, we're sorry. Here we go. Take two. At least you know the music's real. You know, all the instruments are like, you know. I said, the place was actually loved it better, that we didn't get all pissed off and busted. We're like, shit happens. Shit happens.
This guy's talking about a video of a naked woman, though.
Yeah,
that was playing. You didn't get in trouble for that?
No, we have a couple screens that we shoot. We have some big screen stuff that's behind us, and there's like a girl dancing around, like a stripper dancing around on one of the songs. If we did, I sure didn't hear about it.
Hey, give us another Spinal Tap moment.
Oh my God,
you got to have a million.
Did you have time?
Give us another good one. We love asking you guys for your Spinal Tap moment.
Here's one of my finest ever Spinal Tap moments. Now, can I go back to the club days, like the club days?
Sure.
We were playing a place called the Pine Grove Inn in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania. I'd have to read the set list, and it would say, like, you got another thing coming, Judas Priest, Living After Midnight, and then announce 2-for-1 nickel tuggers, and to nickel drafts, and then I would have to say, shake your hiney at the piney. Here's our next song. This is no lie. Our dressing room, I have this on video to prove it on Betamax. We would have to dress like people would have to walk past us, all four of them, to get to the bathroom. You took a shit beside the stage. I would have to change into my spandex. I'm like, hey, how you doing, buddy? I'm putting my furry leg warmers on because I wanted to give them a show. I always wanted to give them a show.
Oh, yeah.
But then Texas Jam. Let's cut a little to the future. 87. We're playing Texas Stadium, 83,000 people.
Wow.
I'm walking to the stage with Paul Stanley on my left, Steven Tyler on my right. They're giving me advice. I'm about to crap myself because I'm so nervous. I get up on the stage, and we had another Spinal Tap moment. The mic didn't work. I'm like, Texas, you... Rock. And then we went to the chord, which left me about 2 inches of room to move. Right? We're filming the "I Won't Forget You" video. Paul Stanley comes out. He plays Strutter with us on stage. Place goes nuts. I go backstage afterwards. I go to jump. Now, in my mind, I live out a lot of my childhood fantasies of what rock is. Because you want to live it out, right?
Sure.
I'm like, I got 2 beers, and I went, and then this girl named Jerry Miller from Metal Edge was shooting a big, pictorial thing in Rolling Stone backstage. I dive into the fountain, which looks mighty deep. It's a facade. The fountain's about 2 inches deep. I'm like, I'm not great. One of those. I threw the rock horns, dove in and landed, and I busted my fucking tailbone. And the rest of the day, I'm like walking around with, bad hair, leg warmers, and spandex soaked, and it was a good time, but we went. Here was my best lesson. Can I get serious now? Yeah. Hold on, I'm going to get serious. I won't put you to sleep, though. My best lesson ever. We drove out of there. That night, 83,000. This rocked. Life was good. We get to Carl's Corner, Texas. And we're at a truck stop, and I just left the place with people going insane. And this was the best moment of my life. There wasn't one person there knew or gave a shit who we were. And it was the best lesson. I said, you know what? All fame is fleeting. Do it for the right reason. Enjoy making music, and don't bust your tailbone in a facade pole or fountain anymore. But it was a great lesson. Good lesson learned.
What advice does Steven Tyler give you before you go out in front of 80,000 people?
Make sure your mic works, dude. Oh, it does. I'm sure of that.
They've had people check it.
Saying, I was going down. He goes, don't be nervous. Go up there, man. You guys are going to be great. And then a year later, we toured with them and did all the soccer stadiums in Europe. And he was the coolest. When you meet somebody.
People.
Can we bring up a topic that's really on my mind now? All right. Did you ever go and meet somebody, and I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus yet.
And they just suck, dude.
Can I tell you my biggest fear in life? I vowed, and I won't say who this was because it was one of my greatest idols ever, and it wasn't Robert Plant or Tyler because they were cool. I met one of my biggest idols ever, and he was such a dick, and I vowed, and now I'm like nervous, like even backstage, I'm like, oh, they're here, I'm like, find out if they're cool first, because I don't, like, in my brain, I've got the posters and the shit. I'm like...
How was he a dick, though? How was he a dick? Like, what was he? Was just
completely, just condescending, cocky, arrogant dick.
So was he with Paul Stanley when you met him?
No. It wasn't Gene. Believe it or not, you guys are going to laugh. Gene said...
Hey, we were kind of disappointed with Gene from time to time on our show.
I know you have been, and I've listened. Believe me, I'm a listener. So
you listen to our show?
We've had great times with Gene's, and we've had awful times.
Good times with Gene.
But I love Gene now. I had a big run-in with him, and I trashed him on the air, and a fan actually...
That had nothing to do with it, though.
Well, no, this was after, and I trashed him, and I was he was hosting an event that I was a judge on in front of 3,000 people, and this little maniac fan came up and confronted Gene for not taking a photo with me, so he hugged me in front of 3,000 people. Really homoerotic, but I mean, it did kind of bring it all home and make it okay.
No, but here's the thing. What you're saying is weird, and let me talk about Gene for 1 minute. Gene, to me, in my career, I've been lucky because he's always been... Poison has always said, we never tried to hide the fact I'm a Kiss fan. Like, I was never like, oh, I've never heard of them before. We just happen to have a couple songs that, are fun like theirs, So we just address who and what we like, right? And he's always been cool, and he was great. You're going to laugh. He's a good magician. Like he can actually do all these tricks, and I have my daughters out on the road. I have 2 daughters, and I had them out on the road. He's doing all these coin tricks. I'm like, this is a surreal moment. I'm backstage with Gene, figuring there's going to be this, drugs and joints, and all of a sudden he's doing like magic tricks, and he was really good at it. I mean,
he's doing
funny.
I got your nose in the back of a tour bus.
He's got you're thinking there's sex, drugs. We're back there figuring out old card tricks. Yeah. No, but he doesn't
really drink or do drugs.
Do you know Kiss?
That.
Yeah, he does nothing. You know Kiss, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like you to help me. I have to meet Ace Frehley. More than I have to meet anybody. I have to meet Ace Frehley.
I think I can help you do that.
We had him on the show.
Not when I was here. He's the only guy in Kiss I've had in my lifelong idols.
Right.
And never met Ace Frehley, and I hear he's just a fucking problem wherever he goes.
Yeah, but you know what? What's great about Ace is every time I've ever been around him, and especially in his drinking days, he's sort of surreal because it's like he's cool. I mean, every time I've been around, he's like cool, stumbly, and then he's kind of neurotic and stumble, but he is what he is. Do you know what I mean? I hope I'm saying
I got
that
the
right.
bit, Jimmy. What? How much you're willing to pay? We'll put the word out. Bring us Ace Frehley, and we pay the listener.
Okay, I'll pay whatever you ask. Exactly.
I'm thinking it could be a good little bit, though. Someone will.
All right, bring us Ace Frehley.
Bring us Ace Frehley, and we'll take care of you. We'll figure it out. I'm serious.
He's the only
Can
guy
I get in on that?
I haven't met.
Can I
no,
get in?
because you know what to ask for. You'll ask for a lot of cash. I don't fuck with arena money, guys.
I'm going to need a non-recoupable deal.
How long were you guys like fucking around in the clubs?
In the day?
Yeah.
We started out probably, put it this way, my dad drove me to most of my early gigs. So I was about 15 when I played rhythm guitar in a band, and then quickly realized that the singer got all the ass. So I quickly bought the PA system. I got a job.
That's how
Bob's
everybody gets in the band. The singer buys the PA.
This
and
is
then
the way
they
you
get
do
in.
gear. This is the funniest story ever. The way bands are invented in Pennsylvania, it had nothing to do with your skill level. It had to do with what equipment.
Of course.
If you bought a bass, that's what you, meaning if you sucked at it, but you owned a bass rig, you were the bass player. Meaning it was the drummer, there'd be like 4 drummers show up, and whoever the singer was, because the PA was the most expensive.
Yeah.
So I went out and got a job, and I said, I got to be the singer because I'm not getting any action back here as the rhythm guitar player. So it's...
I remember stealing people's like floodlights from their driveways for the light show and stuff, and you're just there at home drinking some beer, soldering stuff together for your light show.
If you gave me a soldering iron and some old spotlights, I could build you one right here. I know how to do it.
That's it, man.
Hey, when that whole '80s thing was starting, you guys like survived as far as like when the whole like LA glam scene and everything died. What were the rest of the bands doing? Like some of the bands like not handle it so well. I mean, there must have been like when like stand up goes through a dip where. I used to talk to like 80s comedians, and they would talk about how, you know, there was a club on every corner, and then all of a sudden it just died.
Oh, yeah, you must know some people that just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, you know what happens, I think, to a lot of them, like I said before, they got bitter for all the wrong reasons, because you can't... You know how that saying is don't hate the player, hate the game?
Yeah.
It's the game you're in. I don't think any genre was meant, like I never went in there and said that music is going to end, this will be this for the rest of our lives.
Right.
We went in there just enjoying every day doing what we're doing.
You just ride it out.
And when things changed, I think what happened is some of them embraced it, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard, ourselves, where we were just, I don't want to fool anybody, I just play hard rock music. Right. Like I'm not going to trick anybody. I think a lot of the bands got real bitter about what happened was, and I'm not kidding you, we got a phone call, and I won't say from what network, telling us they were no longer, the year before we had the #1 video, like #1 all-time, beating out Faith No More. All of a sudden, we handed them a video. They're like, we're really not playing your style of music anymore.
That was Video Network from the 80s. Early 90s.
Wow. I don't want to mention any names.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, when they told us that, this was the phone call we got. We're not playing this anymore. When I say they turned their back, they didn't turn their back. They turned their back.
Fuck Nickelodeon.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. That's the last time I'll go down to Nickelodeon and do my dog and pony show for them.
Wow, man, that's something.
It was
that's
that quick,
be
though,
like,
huh?
Yeah, it was pretty quick, and we knew it, but we just went on with Native Tongue and ended up having a very successful record. And I think we've been fortunate. Again, I want to throw out to the fans. I think they realize with our band that I'm a fan of music, and when I go on stage, they know that I'm out there with them. I've never gone on there with the idea that I think I'm greater, even though I do like to throw a great after party. We were talking about that. But I never go on with the attitude that I'm better than this. I just feel like Rocklahoma was a great example of one of the best rock days. I mean, everyone out there, 40, 50,000 people just partying and having a time of their life. It was great.
I have to ask this too, because everyone knows you dated Pam Anderson. I heard she used to carry a photo of your penis.
Photo?
I forced her to.
Was it a photo? Was it a photo, or was it on her phone?
It wasn't. We weren't real big. We didn't have a lot of phone technology in the early 95, 96 era, right? Some technology, but we still had the big click 'em. Remember? It was like the Motorola. It's like
with the antenna though.
Yeah,
but you were rocking it, man. I'm cool.
Hold on, let me get my shoe phone out. But we had a couple great pictures together, and we kept them for medicinal reasons. We would carry them with us, and I took a picture of John Holmes' dick and said, "This is me." I just glued my head on it and said, "Here you go."
Early Photoshop.
And I just dimmed the lights a lot. I'm like, "You don't need to look at this. Hold on a minute."
I did the same thing with John Holmes, but I did it with his blood test results.
Wow.
me.
Broom.
Wow.
Wait, I messed up somehow. I did the wrong thing.
They're running away from me. What did I do?
Show him his dick or give him these results. I'm like, what should I do?
Whatever happened to the sex tape? Did you guys squash it?
We did. Well, you
You
don't.
guys decided to squash it?
You try to, and we did it because we both were in different relationships. I think we've been together, like her and Tommy, where it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
You're together. You're like, hey, comes out. It's kind of fun, cool, whatever. When you're not together and you both got kids, different relationships. And I just said, you know what? I think what pissed me off about it was that when you get threatened. Like if I called you up and they literally threatened Pamela and I. Like they're like, we don't give a shit what you think.
Right.
We will win this. We put out Pam and Tommy's. They couldn't stop that. And then when I got mad, we just went and got a federal injunction. And you don't ever really stop it. You just squish it and
Just
we
try to
ended up
control it.
winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to keep it as controlled as you can.
You know. It wasn't on Nickelodeon for some reason. I don't know why.
You guys doing
We're
any
not
gigs
playing your
around
type
here?
of video.
We got, the gig. We played last night at Jones Beach at the amphitheater, and then tonight we're doing we do this every year. It's a fan jam, and we pick out a station in a city. This year's New York. We're gonna do the China Club tonight, where we just go old school. I call it CBGB, but I don't have a better term. But where it's just a couple amps, us plugged in, and do the set for a bunch of fans that they started announcing it the other day.
Wow. Hey, that's pretty cool.
And then we do, Taj Mahal at the arena, Trump Taj Mahal, and then Saturday we're at the PNC in New Jersey.
All right.
Cool, man.
Hey, let's go to Texas. We're talking to Bret Michaels, of course, star of Rock of Love. Let's not forget about his great reality show on VH1. That's the reason he's
bring
here.
him on here for anyway.
That's the reason he really is here, but, so much to ask him. What's up, bro?
Hey, man.
You're talking to Bret Michaels.
Bret,
Yeah,
dude.
man.
I don't know your name, or I would have said it. So what's your name?
I'm sorry. My name is Bryce. I was just
All right.
really big fan of Bret Michaels, and I know I'd like to get a rock scream.
Oh,
I was
wow.
hoping we could get a rock scream out of the
All right,
band.
let me explain something. See,
That's a good idea.
let me explain. We found this on the internet.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, it's
What's
gotta
this
be
guy?
me. Just put your headphones.
No, it's not you.
It's not.
Believe
No, but this.
you'll be happy it's not.
We play this as a goof, and then it just took on a life of its own. So listen to this first.
Who is that guy?
It's Jim Gillette.
Yeah.
Teaching, is it a lesson?
We don't know what it is.
We believe so.
It's his rock
So-
scream.
So
I know the name Jim Gillette, but he teaches vocals or something.
yeah.
Oh, look at that.
So
That's serious?
yeah, we played that and it took on a life of its own, and now we do this whole thing called Rock Scream Tuesday, and people
Because
try to
we like
imitate
making
that.
fun of the.
Well, do you want me to give you a good?
Oh yeah.
Let me just give all my excuses. I sang late. I partied late. Get out of the way now.
Dude, we would be flattered. Like, you don't even have to imitate
want-
that. Just do your
Do you
own.
want like a Paul Stanley? Ooh, whoa, 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 woo. You know when he does one of those.
Whatever you feel like doing.
Ooh, wow. That's all I got. I got nothing.
I sang all night. I love that when you go to gig and I see, because I'm just talking band stories. I'm just talking band stories. 'cause I know how it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know how it is. Band stories. When you think you're going to sound like shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. My voice is shot
Right.
last night. You go up on stage and you just best night of your life.
Absolutely.
Out there, and you have no reason why. And then there's some nights where you think you're going to kick ass and you're like, what the fuck is happening to my range?
Yeah, no, it's I live that daily. I have that Spinal Tap moment.
The
daily.
the singers just have the worst position because you don't know. It's the best position because you get all the pussy, but you don't know day to day if you're gonna. Imagine the guitarist opens up his case and it's like, oh fuck, my guitar's smashed today.
Right.
Fuck. What am I
That's
gonna
the vote.
do?
That's
You know?
the vote. And if you don't, I'll tell you what kills a singer more than anything, and this is something I fall victim to a lot, is because we enjoy a good after party, is you booze, smoke, and all that stuff aside, lack of sleep will kill you. You know what I mean? Like when you don't sleep and you're just, but you get up on that stage and some nights I go on there and I'm feeling like, man, tonight is going to be the best night ever. And then the monitors blow, something's not right, and you're like, you can't fix it. It's not like a guitar, you just turn it up,
Yeah.
Just gotta go with it.
Who's the biggest animal you ever worked with? Like rock star animal, like just like a fucking awful lifestyle you can't believe, like like partying. And
Like, how are they still alive?
just exactly like how do you perform with the debauchery or the amount of
amount of drugs and stuff.
Well,
in their
whatever it is,
system.
yeah.
Any, you know what? I've quite a few. I'd probably say Cece and Bobby are they. Cece and Bobby. I thought I could throw a pretty good party, but being diabetic, there's a level where I have to cut it off.
Sure.
Right? Where I'm like, I've had a good time. I'm having fun, but Cece would do 3-nighters, and I'm telling you, I didn't know how he performed. Like, when I say don't know how he performed, he'd be sleeping 10 minutes before show, had been gacked out of his brain for like 3 days, and he would get on in Bobby, and I would be like, man, do you ever watch our Every Rose video where Bobby looks like he's like, he can't stand, but they could play unbelievable. Like, they would get on there and play, and I'd be like, fuck, how's he? I don't know how he's breathing, let alone. He's doing the solo, and and I'm like,
amazing.
A minute before we walked on, I thought we were have to hit him with a couple more bumps just to get him, through the show. And,
hey, we got to get Brett out of here, unfortunately. This just hit yesterday. Brandy C from Rock of Love on VH1. This will help the show, by the way.
Please.
She's a porn star.
I love Brandy.
This just came out that Brandy C from Rock of Love on VH1 is a porn star. She goes by the name of Brittany on the website. BabyGotBoobs.com.
All right.
BabyGotBoobs.com.
Is this her first porn, or she's been doing it for a while?
I honestly don't know.
Get tested.
Yeah, I don't know. Why? You had fun with Brandy C
We
or
just
what?
talked a lot.
I like him already. No bag, no nothing.
I gave her a nice smattering. No.
Yeah.
What's the most at one time you ever had? That right there is a rock star answer. Let me think.
Yeah, I got to go back.
You got to think.
Hey, turn that.
Jesus.
Texas has been real good to me.
As he thinks, there's Brandy C from Rock of Love.
Can I go over there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Take a look-see.
She's the one on the left.
Get that
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, Brandy C's hot.
Wow.
There she is as a porn star, as Brittany on BabyGotBoobs.com.
Yeah, she's hot.
She's the one on the left if you're looking at the...
She told me she'd never been with a guy before.
Damn you.
Wow.
Yeah, she's looking pretty good on there, though. I mean, she's doing all right.
She's playing the fiddle.
They're sharing that penis. They're so good with it. They both take the same amount of space on the sides.
Yeah, they're equally sharing the penis there.
No selfishness, just enjoying it.
No, she's awesome. Now, is she new at this? This kind of turning me on. Is this her first?
That's hilarious. Just sitting there with a dick right in the mouth. She's awesome.
I love her.
You sounded like she gave you a get well card or something. What a sweetheart.
All right, let's...
What a gal.
What a gal.
They're going to be yanking him out of here. So, Rock of Love, VH1, we're all hooked on the show. Bill Burr came in just to meet you because he's a big fan of the show.
Thank you,
as
Bill.
well.
Absolutely.
Hey, some of the things we're going to see as the show goes on.
This week most incredible, and I say this is what makes it so real. These girls, including Brandy C, were such great sports, right? But they came out. And we race motocross this week. Next week we go in, we have a big rock jam. Then we go out to the gun range, shoot. Then we play you got to check out the mud football, full contact lingerie mud. All the contests are amazing. And you could tell none of you can't script that. I mean, it's knockdown, drag out, fist. I mean, it's good. And
blown out ACLs.
A lot of torn ACL.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Brett, you're really cool, man. You got to come back when the show's over because we want to get all the inside scoop.
Done.
Like how many girls you banged.
Anytime you guys
what
have
kind
me
of
on,
diseases you got from these broads. We're going to really get into that.
Brandy, I'm surprised. She told me I was the first guy she'd ever been with. I'm a little shocked.
Maybe she wasn't. Maybe they just CGI'd a penis in there. Maybe that was actually an apple or a banana.
I'm thinking that's what happened.
Yeah, they just photoshopped it.
I'm sure you're heartbroken and
I'm down.
He's going to be crying all day.
Guys, I'm going to be in a corner crying. Just leave me over there for a while.
It's Rock of Love, Sundays at 9 p.m. on VH1. And also, Poison has a new CD out called Poisoned or something like that.
Brand new CD, again, on Capital EMI, just called Poisoned, and a bunch of songs. We just went back and did a bunch of cover songs because we were going to do an all-original record, but me and Bobby got in a huge fist fight at Atlanta on stage at the arena, and we decided to buddy up again. He gave me stitches in my knee, son of a bitch.
You had a fist fight with a bandmate on stage?
Yeah, it's on all over. Apparently, because it was at the end of the night. We walked out. We had a discrepancy over the songs we were doing. He said a few things to me. I said, "You talking to me?" Next thing I know, I had my microphone. He knocked it over. I threw it at his head by accident.
Oh, shit.
I missed. which sucks because I'm a good thrower. I actually can throw decent, right? I miss his head. He ducks. He takes his Warlock bass, which is the pointiest, sharpest bass ever made, and he starts to do a Peter Townsend around his head with it. And I go, he's not going to throw that thing at me. That will kill me. And he chucked it right at me, man. I went Kung Fu, Karate Kid. It bounced off the stage and got my knee about 8 stitches. And next day we were best friends laughing about it. And
it's on YouTube?
It's on YouTube somewhere.
Oh, we'll check that.
Wow.
Yeah, there's something like it's awful. It's like, you could tell because it's like
phone
a bunch
camera.
of phones and
What was the argument over the songs?
we were deciding what songs to put in or not put in the set and what we wanted to end the night with, whether, Talk Dirty to Me, nothing but a good time.
Oh, it doesn't have to be a real subject. They're rock guys. They'll argue over anything.
That's what's fun about it, because I know if I ask that question, it'll be something so stupid.
It'll be something ridiculous.
I started this fight.
It's the only way we know how to fight. It can't be something intelligent. Come on.
They were arguing over whose penis that was in the video.
That was mine. Damn her. She looks hot in that.
She's lovely.
She looks hot in that shot right
All right, we're
all right, I'm out. Thank you guys for having me.
Bret Michaels, man. Come back, please. And he's a fan of the show. How cool is that? Rock of Love, Sundays at 9 p.m. on VH1. It's Bret Michaels, BretMichaels.com, everyone.
That was great.
Thanks, Bret. Pleasure. We'll go to break and continue. It's Opie and Anthony.
Definitely want a picture and my stick.
Opie and Anthony.